Hi friends, how are you all? Hope you are doing good. Today we are going to see some common techniques, data cleaning techniques used in Power Query. Power Query is a ETL tool developed by Microsoft for data extraction, transformation and loading. You can find Power Query in Excel and Power BI also. I'm going to use Power BI today to see some data cleaning techniques. We'll do in Excel in some other day in some other video. So let us start the video. So let us import the data first. To import the data in Power BI, you click on Get Data, go to the format you have, the type of data format you have. Today I have CSV. You click on CSV. By clicking, by doing this, you can import the data set one by one, but I'm going to do it as a whole. So you click on Get Data More and you can folder, connect, on browse documents. Okay, click on OK. It loads the data. Click on transform data. So this is Power Query Editor. So here is the all the data transformation happens. So we have different tabs like home, transform, add column. We are going to use few of the options here to do some data cleaning and transformation techniques. So we have five CSV files, date, merchant transaction, and this one is a PDF, ignore that. And if you click on binary, only that query opens. So we need all the five queries. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all the things. So let me make a duplicate of all these five tables. So you can click here. So this is dim date. You click on binary. The first thing you have to do is you have to rename the query. Renaming query is a good practice so that whenever later when we come here and look at this, we'll get a good remembering of that. The next one is dim merchant. So dim means dimension table, which is like a primary table which has the primary key and the corresponding data. So this is fact transactions. I use copy paste here. So next one is 2023. Last one is category, dim category. Yeah, so we have loaded all the five queries, the names. So let us go through the data first. The first one we have is a date table. So in the date table, the data type is correct. It is a data type format, date data type. And if you click on this drop down, you could able to see all the data available in this date table. If you have any null values or blank, you could see a separate checkbox showing blanks in parentheses, and you can remove it or do other imputing things based on the data. If it is a date table, you can remove it. If it is another column like salaries or ages, you could ask the team what we have to do. Like if it is salaries, you can go for average, median, or something like that. There are lots of other statistical things. Let us not go into that right now. As of right now, we don't have this blank, so we are going to leave as it is. Sometimes we need the name of the month. So in order to add a name of the month, you click on the column, click on add column and go to date, month, name of the month. And we need name of the day also. We are going to click on the column name, click on date, click on day and name of the day. We'll add year also. So this is the year. So this is the data type. So it is in number format. If you want, you can have it in text also. So both the things are possible. So it depends on the objective of the data. So I'm leaving this as it is right now. We'll go for the next query. So the next one, this is pretty interesting. So when you see these columns, the column does not have a name. They don't have a header. It says only column 1 and column 2. But when you see the first row, it says merchant ID and merchant, which is something relatable to the data. This one, these data looks like the IDs and these data looks like the names. So I'm pretty sure these two are like the column headers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this icon and I'm going to click use first row as headers. So it changes the first row as headers. Now we got some headers. So the first column merchant ID is really good. It doesn't have any like duplicates or like things. So when it comes to IDs, uh, when you have duplicates, you should remove it because you cannot have to. You could have only one unique ID for one person or one company. You cannot have two IDs, isn't it? So when it comes to IDs, you can remove the duplicates over there. But right now we don't have any duplicates and we don't have any null values also. So it's pretty good here. So when you check the merchant column, it has the name of the merchant and mid-sized. It doesn't look like the name of the merchant. It looks like some kind of category it belongs to. So we are going to separate this into a separate column. So what we are going to do is we are going to separate this column into another column. One has only the merchant name, another one it has only the category or segment it belongs to. So for this, you click on the column and you click on the transform tab and you're going to click on split column. So what do we have here is we have a hyphen in all the data. So we can split the column by a hyphen. So you call this as delimiter. Delimiter is like all the punctuations. You could have commas, full periods, um, semicolons and all those things. So I click on split column and I click on by delimiter. So it automatically chooses the delimiter. It chooses hyphen. So if you click on OK, it separates them. And after separating it, after splitting it, you rename the column header. So now we have another column, this segment. I'm giving it a segment. You can go for any other name that you would like for. And I don't want all this parenthesis. It's not. It's not. It's not looking good. And I'm going to rename all the things as. I'm going to remove all the parentheses. So how we are going to do this is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to right click into replace values, control V, control V. Make sure you don't have any leading spaces. We are going to see that next now. As of right now, we are going to remove only the parentheses. The parentheses got removed. So you can use on control C, right click, replace values, control V, control V. You can click on tab to go for the next option. That's done and we have only MNCs. So it's done. When you look at this, you can see some trailing leading spaces here. Sometimes leading spaces are pretty easy to find because you could see some space here. But when you have space here, when you click on this drop down, you could see two startups. This is because you have some kind of spaces before or after the word. These are called leading or trailing spaces. So when you see this, you have to start up. You could be confused, like they have both names are like they have the same spelling. Why they have two names over here? Which this is because you have this spaces before, and this does not have space before it, and this has space before it. So to remove this trailing and leading spaces, we click on right click, we click on the column header, right click on it, click on transform and click on trim. So all the spaces gets disappeared. So this is another important technique that everyone should follow. So now when you click on this drop down, you could see only one option. So clicking on the drop down and checking and going through all the data is really important. Even you could find some misspellings, duplicates and everything. Now we'll go for next one, which is fact transactions. So in fact transaction table, you click on the transaction ID and you make sure that all the IDs are unique. Okay. And date table, everything, ID, and this is category, and this debit amount, and this one is, yeah, we don't have it. Everything is unique here. So make sure like it's in decimal, the amount is like it's in decimal, fixed decimal number. You can go for like currency type, data type, category ID, date, transaction ID. So mostly the transaction ID are in text format, even if it has numbers. So make sure the IDs are in text format, not in numbers. And this one also in currency format. And is there anything else? We'll come back another thing. And after this, we'll go for category thing. We haven't opened it. If you want binary, we have opened it. So this is pretty different. So the category IDs in rows and category names in is also in rows. We want them in category ID and category names as column headers, and these are as the data. So what you are going to do is you are going to click on this and click on transpose. So everything got changed. So what I'm going to do is the column headers are not there. Same thing as we did it in merchant. You click on here and click on use first row as headers. So it's done. So after all this, you can go to view and you can click on column distribution and column profile to see any column quality, to see any empty null values, or there are 4 distinct and 4 unique values are there. You have to see that. This helps us to go through the data really well. So we have 1000 distinct and 1000 unique value. 315 distinct and 15 unique value. Distinct means uh, unique value means only the data comes only one time. Distinct values is the data might come more than one time. And this is 8 distinct, 0 unique, no unique values. We have 994 unique values. So when you see a transaction ID table, all the IDs should be unique, because ID is something like which is not repeated and which is only unique for a person or a company. So you should have 1000 unique values. And distinct means number of times it's occurring. And we have no empty, no empty, no empty. We don't have null values. We don't have null values. And yes, I think I think we have finished the data cleaning processes. Now after doing all the things, you can rename here. Like what did you do? Like you have changed the data. Like I have changed, rename it here. Like changed date, data type to text. So this is after 2 or 3 months when you see the pipeline, you could easily understand what's going on here. So these are some common data cleaning techniques that we follow in Power Query. And after doing all the things, if you want, you can add this or you can uncheck this. You can go for transform and home, and you can click on close and apply. You can apply changes. I think it's loading.